Years old. Over 10 years. That's how I feed me and my kids. My 4 child. I don't have shit.
The caption says $23 food stamps. They said go to work.
Years old. Over 10 years. That's how I feed me and my kids. My 4 child. I don't have shit. I'm used to the system. I don't have shit. I'm immune to the system. I need my fucking food stamps. Without my food stamps, I don't know how I'm gonna live. How I'm gonna provide. Is the food shelters closed too?
Listen to the language. This is panic. This is withdrawal. When something has been permanent for years.
No, I mean, yeah, listen to the language. She says she's immune to the system. So that's the reason why it's been getting dialed back, probably. You're immune to it. It's not as effective as it once was. So they took it. She said, I'm immune to the system.
Losing it feels like an attack.
I don't know what to do. So you telling me, starting next month, I'm not getting my food stamps. My $568.23.
The whole house is on Medicaid. My husband.
She look like she immune to a comb, is what she's immune to.
Me, our baby daughter. Okay, we're all on Medicaid. Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to have the birth control in my arm that I have. Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to have the antidepressants that I have at no cost to me. Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to go to therapy to continue to be the mom I am to the 3 kids and 2 separate houses that I have to do. Without Medicaid, my daughter wouldn't be able to go and get her vaccines and go and get all of the things that she needs as an 18-month-old baby. Without Medicaid, my husband wouldn't be able to go and get the medications that he needs and the treatment that he needs for his disability. Without Medicaid, not a single person in my house would have health care. We are low income. Our only income is my husband's SSI. We're on food stamps. We use food pantries. Okay? Without Medicaid, we would never be healthy. And for us, it's not even like body, it's all mental. For my husband, for me, and then we have a baby who needs Medicaid for vaccines, who needs Medicaid for, I already have 2 children who are diagnosed with autism. So what if she ends up getting diagnosed with autism? We need Medicaid. We need Medicaid. And if you live in America, everybody deserves free healthcare. That's it.
This is where survival turns into expectation.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on now. If y'all were having all these problems already, and you already had 2 kids and you were struggling and you needed all this assistance, I mean, was two not enough? You had to have a newborn now, and now you're complaining that things are harder, but you just effectively made it harder? See, and this is what we got to address. We have to address it because it doesn't make sense. And this is how you're telling it. And you're not going to tell the bad side. You're only going to tell the things that put you in a good light or what you want us to know. So it already sounds bad just from your perspective. So I can imagine what other things we could uncover within the situation that would make us think even more that you mismanaged the situation. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually does help out more than you know. And also if you could hype. This caption says, woman demonstrates how to get Starbucks with EBT/food stamps. And commentators think she doesn't look poor enough. Oh, wow.
Okay, so since the food stamp police was so motherfucking mad about that video I made, I'm about to make them madder, okay? I'm at Target, boom. So did you know that if you go into like a Target or if you have a Publix or whatever type of store like that that has like a Starbucks inside, you can use your food stamp to get Starbucks. So I'm about to show y'all right now. Let's go. Can I get a grande iced green tea, peach green tea, made with lemonade and light ice, please? Thank you.
I want to see that price.
Thank you so much. Okay, so since the food stamp,
I was wanting to see the price, but I mean, it was a grande, right? Muy grande. So she got the big boy. And let's be real. You're going to a gourmet coffee shop because that's what it is. You probably spend at least $7. And, they probably mad at you too because you probably didn't tip. You probably don't have the option to tip with Snap. But ain't that crazy? So she done found the loophole to be able, if you go to a Starbucks or something like that in a grocery store, then those will actually accept Snap. And that's how you know it's egregious. Now, this caption says, I'm getting kicked out of the food stamp office. Okay, let's see.
So they put me out the food stamp office yesterday because I told them by law they gotta give me my food stamp, my summer EBT. Talking about they don't have to give me nothing. When in all actuality, once you approve, yes, they do. Good thing I went in there with some sense. I went in there being respectful. I went in there and was very polite. Now, true enough, I didn't get kicked out, but I did have to go there so that I can get a replacement summer EBT card because I hadn't received it yet. But yeah, y'all be wanting to hear the negative. One thing I do know is you get more flies with honey than salt. But on my way out the door, y'all, they had this lady that was posted up and she was selling those like government phones. And since I do get Medicaid, I went and I had to check her out and see what she had. Now, when did they stop? So I guess because of the tariffs, you got to pay for the phones now. So they put me.
It doesn't have a caption. Let me see if I'll go to the beginning.
How much y'all got?
It doesn't have a caption. However, the description says food stamp cuts trigger a massive outrage.
How much y'all got? Every month, $3,500 in food stamps. How much y'all got? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, y'all need to chill. And I got 7 baby daddies. Yes, I'm not ashamed. I don't regret nothing. I don't regret my first child. I don't regret.
That's the problem. That's the problem. There's no shame. People aren't ashamed anymore. So one, come on here and basically brag about how much they're receiving in food stamps, which that didn't used to be something that people were proud to say that I'm getting government assistance. But now it's like a badge of honor because it doesn't have the same stigma. Why doesn't it have the same stigma is what we should be asking. Because it's still embarrassing to be poor in the modern age, right? I don't want to say embarrassing, but what I'm saying is poverty is still something that people aren't open with, even when they come on social media. All these people you see going on trips, all type of stuff, man, they're poor. I had a friend, he was sitting courtside at games. He was taking trips out of the country, and this dude worked at Family Dollar. But see, he was trying to portray a lifestyle, and he had a check or whatever, and he was trying to do the most, and he was destroying his financial future. See, a lot of people, they're not going to show you the bad side, the negative side, and ultimately not even the bad side, just the real side, right? Because it's still not something that you want to brag about, being in poverty. But see, government assistance no longer represents poverty because it's so egregious, and people come on here and basically display the fact that they are getting over on the system and that they are taking advantage and capitalizing and ultimately defrauding the system. So that's why it no longer has the same bad stigma, and people will come on here with that. What else? Apparently, it's no longer a bad stigma to have 7 kids with 7 different fathers or whatever. Did she say that? Or did she just say 7 kids? Did I take it left? Let me see. And it doesn't help too that this is, hold on, this is
EBT food stamps. How much y'all?
She got 7 kids, at least I heard. But then coincidentally, this is part 7. So let's get back into it. We'll just start it from the top.
Got? How much y'all got? Every month, $3,500 in food stamps. How much y'all got? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, y'all need to chill. And I got 7 baby daddies. Yes.
Oh,
I'm
7 baby daddies.
I don't regret nothing. I don't regret my first child. I don't regret my second child. Third.
How many
fourth,
kids?
Fifth, sixth. All
How
of
many?
them are a blessing to me. And if you don't feel that way, that's not your problem.
That's not your problem because they're not your kids anyway. They're mine,
Right.
not yours. Like, I
Right.
don't get it.
There you
Like,
go.
You're right. The fact that you have 7 children with different baby daddies is not any of my concern. And I would surely hope that you would not regret having your children because children are a blessing. But at some point, you have to wonder if it's a good idea or a bad idea to continue having children if you cannot financially provide for them. And that's not me being judgy, that's me being real. Children growing up in a household doing without is absolutely heartbreaking to me because these kids didn't ask to be born. And if they're born into a household where they could potentially go hungry, that's a problem.
they're mine, not yours. Like, I don't get it. Like, what is
Yeah, and do you have a mansion? Do you have a mansion, or are these kids living on top of each other while you get your one master bedroom to yourself? See, logistically, it just doesn't make sense. You have these kids piling up on top of each other. I feel like this is negligence. If you had 2 when you were surviving with 2, and then you're going to have 5 more, do we not think about how that affects how the kids live? You made that choice, and you were negligent, in my opinion, to the kids that you already had that you were struggling with, or possibly not struggling with. What if you weren't struggling with 2 kids, and so your kids were doing just fine? They were able to do all the things they were able to do, and now you have 5 more, and now you're struggling. I get now that the kids are here, we love everybody, but while they weren't here and you had the other 2, you had a responsibility to those 2 or those 3 or that 1. And so if you're already not where you need to be and then you have more, you're just making harder constraints for not only yourself, but also these children that you are supposed to be responsible for, not the taxpayer.
wrong with people? Like, people just think that you can just talk on people and just discuss people's life. Like, who are you? What are you achieving with your life? My 7 kids, they're good, they're great, they're healthy, they're blessed. I'm able to pay for everything they need. If my baby daddies are not acting right, like what? If a few of them are not acting right, the rest of them will. If 1 or 2 baby daddies not acting right, guess what? 3, 4, 5 of them will, and they'll come.
Who gets to make sure that you're acting right? I'm pretty sure not one of your baby daddies are proud of you coming online acting like this. I'm sure not one of your kids will be proud to see you online acting like this. I would hope nobody who was associated with you will be proud to see you on here not acting right. Because this ain't acting right, if you ask me.
To my rescue and make sure, because they got these kids with me, and I make sure of that. So don't worry about me.
I find it hard to believe that all these baby daddies are willing to take care of other kids, though. Like, I can understand wanting to contribute and provide for the child that they had with you, but why would they feel compelled to give you money for the children that they did not have with you? I mean, they sound like they might be good guys, but I don't know, because it doesn't really sound like she's with any of them anymore. I don't know. It sounds like there's a lot of babies and a lot of baby daddies, and I don't know her whole situation, so I don't even know if I'm qualified to comment.
No, it's just too complex. This is too complex. Way too complex. And see, we can take it a step further. What if like a baby father wanted to get his family back together? That would be wild if they were like, hey, let's get it back together. Let's bring this chaos back in my life. But let's just take it that way that they did want to do that. And then it's like, but now they got 6 other dudes coming in and out of the house taking care of the kids, and then you're going to be there taking care of all 7. She going to expect help with them and all type of stuff. It's too complex. And then it's just like, this is just complete and utter chaos and complexity. And just even in the world, like, it's just crazy. It's craziness. And things aren't supposed to be this complicated. You got a melting pot in your home. You got all different Power Rangers, right? And it's just too much. It's too much going on. And again, I think back in the day, guys were somewhat okay about taking care of other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was pretty common. But I mean, goodness gracious, if I just got 1 and then you got another 6, well, now that's just, I don't know if I can commit to that. So, I mean, ultimately, it's just too complex, too much going on. The caption for this says, content creator went to jail behind food stamps. This is pretty recent as well.
Y'all talk too much of y'all damn business on this app. They had a lady that went to jail from telling people she received food stamps and how she was beating the system. A lady made that video. Y'all could correct me. I don't know if the police came to her house later on that day or the next day, but she went to jail. And she owed $35,000. We'll go over two things in this video. One, y'all, when I say oversharing your personal business never got nobody nowhere. But oversharing personal business that could put you under the jail is really, it really upsets me because it's unnecessary. And you're signing yourself up for stress. You could do jail time. Now you got to pay all this money back. And I know now that she did make the mistake. But some stuff is done, and you can't undo it. So you have to be careful. Another thing that is trending, we've been talking about food stamps. That's what's been coming up on my For You page about Trump supposed to be cutting this and cutting.
Well, hold on. So she said this content creator went to jail. It's keywords in there, content creator. Why do we think she probably went to jail? Because people do this all the time, defraud, and the government will just send them a letter clawing the money back, basically just suing them basically for the money that's owed back. That happens more times than not. But she was one of the rare cases, allegedly, by what this woman said, that went to jail. Two things come to mind. For one, things aren't fair when it comes to the court of public opinion, as well as just life in general. So sometimes they pick people that they want to make an example out of because of how it will be represented to the masses. And it will basically gain traction on its own. If she's a content creator and she has a decent following, then by her going to jail for this is going to garner a lot of attention. And so that attention will serve as great marketing to serve as a deterrent to let other people know, F around and find out. We'll take our time. We'll go through the time to go ahead and process her because it's going to have a big impact. So she might have been cherry picked and selected, as well as the second thing that I mentioned, which is, I mean, she probably pretty much made the case very cut and dry. Because if you came online and you admitted everything that you did, then all they got to do is go back and retrace exactly what you just said and confirm it. So it was probably an easy case as well, which you made it easy for them. And it's not only an easy case to process and prosecute, but it's an easy case to prove. And either way, you're effed, whether you want to do a jury or whether you want to just do the judge. Because I think most people would get upset if they see you online bragging about this, that, and the third and defrauding food stamps that they're paying for. Because who's going to be sitting on that jury? Taxpayers. No matter how you slice it, dice it, it's going to be taxpayers on that jury. So it's like pick your poison. And so understand that. People coming on here and bragging about these things that they actually did, especially if you have a decent sized following.
Coming up on my For You page about Trump supposed to be cutting this and cutting it. And I seen a young lady crying. Baby, it's not the end of the world. If plan A don't work, you go to B. You still got to figure out a way to feed your children. You are responsible for those mouths. So getting on here crying and everybody is not on this internet meaning you well. Somebody laughing at you crying into the internet, that's not going to help. People on here want to go back and forth with you in the comments. They got mean people, they got jealous people, envy people, all the above. Talk to God about your situation and think about what could you do to make your situation better. It is what it is. We cannot get upset and angry over things we do not have no power over. Okay? But remember, God is still God. All right? I just don't, those are the things I don't like to see. You know what I'm saying? Only, and I'm going to say this, and I don't know if I said this, only the strong will survive. Okay? So I'm going to wrap this up. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed. J-Lo, stop oversharing your business, especially things that could put you in jail.
Great advice. Great advice.
You've been getting food stamps this whole...
Hold on now. So the caption says, her husband was getting food stamps behind her back. He was secretly getting food stamps behind her back.
You've been getting food stamps this whole time. I've been struggling, working 2 jobs. Told you I've been getting food. Who the office did? My the worker that's been denying me.
Oh, look, he living real good. He got his Adidas jogging suit on. Meanwhile, they got rags and they wearing rags and drapes. But he got his Adidas, new shoes. This is kind of trifling if this was happening.
2 jobs. Told you I've been getting food. Who the office did? My the worker that's been denying me for the last 6 months. You tell me we're gonna be all right. We're gonna work through it. But are we? No. No wonder why you not hungry. You're never hungry. You're never eating when we're struggling.
And this is what I talked about before, making sure that you're not sleeping with the enemy. I don't care if that man lays next to you every night. I don't care if he kisses you on your forehead before you go to sleep. That does not mean that man is on your side, that he believes in you. Some of these men will be with you because it's convenient. They'll be with you because of obligation. They'll be with you for any number of reasons, but it doesn't have to be love. Tyler Perry, come to the front. Don't be shy. This the kind of man you're telling single women they need? This is the kind of light bill paying man you're saying that somebody needs? I'm sure he loves her. But down here struggling. He's turning her into a mule. She's working 2 jobs? This is the kind of fairy tale they try to sell you on. Love will feed you when you're hungry. Love will, as if love is going to be what the mortgage company accepts as payment. Like, they're still going to evict you even if you love him and he loves you back. Like, no. Like, that level of disrespect, the fact that he would take food out of the mouth of the woman that he's living with and his child and selfishly use it for himself. I don't care if he's selling the food stamps. I don't care if he gave the food stamps to his mother. I don't care what he did. The fact that she's working 2 jobs and you have a way to help her out and you choose not to, you selfishly choose not to, the man never denied it. Well, where'd you find this out at? Like, who told you I was doing this? Let me see the paper. He said everything except you didn't do it, bro. You guilty.
You've been getting food.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, for sure. If that's how he living, if that's what he's doing, it's definitely trifling, especially if they're married, right? If they're married and you're getting food stamps or whatever, and what, like you got your secret stash or something somewhere. You got a little mini fridge hidden somewhere. Meanwhile, the kids is starving. Boy, that is some BA-ish. If that's going on, because I don't know if I believe this. This might be some propaganda right here. But if it's going on, that is insane. And he should really reevaluate some things if that's how he's moving.
Okay, is it just me or a lot of the videos
Her caption said food stamp meltdowns are not helping anyone.
from the people losing their food stamps just not encouraging sympathy? Like, I'm seeing people say, oh, I can't eat steak anymore, or I have to use the money that I would have used on substances or my hair to finally buy food for myself. Or I'm seeing people say, oh, I can't sell my food stamps anymore, which, by the way, is so freaking illegal. Look, I was on food stamps growing up. I've been to food banks. I've had to do that whole sort of thing. I get it. And I genuinely do think that there's a lot of people who use this program, truly need it, and use it for good purposes. But unfortunately, the loudest people on TikTok are making it seem like they never needed food stamps, we're never using them for necessities, and we're living better than the people actually paying taxes for the food stamps. So no, I don't blame people for saying that we need reform. I don't blame people for disliking the fact that you can buy soda or that you can buy ice cream and Doritos. And before you come at me for, oh, you don't want poor people to have nice things, SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's supplemental. It's not supposed to buy every single grocery you'll ever need. It's supposed to supplement what you're already buying. It's not supposed to pay for every single snack and sweet treat that you've ever wanted. Again, I genuinely do feel for people in a difficult place right now. They need a lot of help and there's a lot of work to be done. But if you're one of those people getting on TikTok and making videos about how you wish you could go back to abusing the system, I seriously have no sympathy whatsoever for you. Okay, is it just me or a lot?
Yeah, exactly. And again, there's a cognitive dissonance between people understanding that, yes, this is a crime. You're talking about you want to sell your food stamps or you want to participate in buying someone's food stamps. You are participating in a federal crime. Federal crime. Doesn't matter what state you're in. You're playing with the government, federal government's money. And so why you would want to be implicated in that and involved in that, I don't know. It's not worth it. But then for someone to have a meltdown and come online and say, how could you? I can't do this anymore. I was depending on this income so I could go to Tulum. Is insane. But people do it. And again, we just saw somebody who potentially could be facing time and is definitely going to have to pay that money back in the form of, at the minimum, her tax returns. And so while it gains interest. And so what we see is F around and find out. The government's always had the option, just because they haven't prosecuted. That could change in just by simply a change of leadership, as we see now. So now we have leadership that's actually going to take these things the full way and either get their money back or they're going to prosecute you. His caption says selling your food stamps is a felony now. It's been one, but people just now finding out because now they're just now starting to take action about it.
Hey, y'all, for everybody who out there selling them food stamps, from now on, if you get caught, it's a state jail felony. Say, for instance, you selling your food stamps and you loan somebody else your card, they gonna spend money off of there. It is a state jail felony to sell your food stamps now if they catch you. That's called food stamp fraud. Hey, they have locked up a lot of people behind this shit. I don't know if y'all seen that video where they went to that apartment complex and started locking up everybody for food stamp fraud. If you selling food stamps, if you loaning somebody your food stamp card and they are caught with your card, both of y'all are being charged.
Both.
That is a charge. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you can go to jail if you say, hey, I want to loan you some of my food stamps. You have to physically go into the store with that person and buy the food your damn self. Or let's say they get pulled over and the cops ask them for their ID and they pull out all their information and they find out, oh, you got somebody else's card on you that don't got your name on it. It's a state jail felony now, y'all. Ain't that fucked up? Hey, y'all.
Exactly. Notice the key word in that is both of y'all going to jail. People think just because they buying the food stamps that they not committing the fraud too. They're not implicated in the fraud too. Let me tell you something. If you go to a drug dealer's house and you buy some drugs, they're not just taking the drug dealer down. Actually, they want you. They're going to follow you from that house and they're going to stop you and they're going to catch you who just bought the drugs. Why? Because now they're going to hold that over your head. What are they going to hold over your head? Hey, cooperate with us if you don't want us to take you down with this. What could that look like? You think cooperate just means tell on them? Nah. We're going to put this mic on you when you go and buy it again. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if they got cameras now, little micro cameras where they can catch the person's face. Yeah, we're going to put this wire on you for when you go over there again, just so we can build this case. And then, guess what? When we take them to trial, we need you to come and testify and look dead at them so they know you were involved. Otherwise, you're going to go down with them. So what do you want to do? Why do we think that doesn't relate when it comes to food stamps? They just weren't getting people for that because the floodgates were open. But people have messed it up for themselves because they come on here and they market the fact that they're abusing it and they're defrauding it.
Who buys food stamps and how? Like, if you got the money to buy food stamps, or like if you got the money, why would you be buying food stamps?
I was extremely surprised by this question because I thought everybody already understood this. Okay, here's a simple example to show you why this happens. So you have person A is on food stamps, which means they have a certain amount of money that they can use just for food, right? That money can't be spent anywhere else. It has to be spent on food, beverages, basically grocery stores. But person A wants to buy something that they're not allowed to buy with the food stamps. So they go to person B, who isn't on food stamps and has actual money, and they say, I will give you $100 worth of food stamps and you give me $50 of real money. So it's a deal for person B because person B is now going to use that money to buy groceries. And it's a deal for person A because even though they're selling it at half price, they're still going to get real money that allows them to spend it on whatever they want. And that's why people buy food stamps. It's not so much about the people who buy them, but more about the people who sell them. People who buy them, they're just seeing a deal. I will quickly remind you, though, both of them are committing a crime.
Didn't I tell you? You're both implicated. Her caption says, breaking news as of 5/15/2026. Donald Trump is now putting fathers on child support if you receive government assistance. I didn't hear nothing about that.
Breaking news, if you are on food stamps with your kids on your case, you are now going to receive a letter in the mail. Donald Trump administration is now saying if you are on food stamps, they will put your baby daddy on child support immediately. Because they are saying that if we are supporting your needs and putting food on your table and providing Medicaid, where is the father? Why can't he contribute to that? The government does no longer want to give food stamps out. They are going to put your baby daddy on food stamps immediately. This is a new law that they just passed in February 2026. If you think I'm lying, look it up and look into it. Get off food stamps. Get off government assistance if you really don't need them. It's not worth the hassle, and it's not worth a black male being put in the system again.
Yeah, okay. I was doing some research while she was talking because that don't sound right. And what I came up with is no, she's being misleading and she's oversimplifying things because she said Donald Trump is now putting fathers on child support if you receive government assistance. Here's what is true. For many years, under both Republican and Democratic administrations, certain government assistance programs have required cooperation with child support enforcement. But this is not new to 2026, and it didn't suddenly start under Trump. So here's an example. Like, let's say a custodial parent receives some type of welfare, Medicaid benefits. The state can ask who the other parent is. They can establish paternity, and they can also pursue child support from the non-custodial parent. So that has existed for decades. That's just under federal welfare law. So the reality is child support laws are really state-based. Either parent can support. The rules can vary by benefit program and state, but no, there is no major nationwide Trump 2026 law that's matching what she's talking about. So ultimately, what did we just learn? Do not trust news advice from somebody who comes on with a bonnet on to give you news advice. That was what we could take away from this clip. Do not take advice about the world from somebody who decides to try to give you news advice or political advice wearing a bonnet. Wasting our time. Her caption says, "Why would you have 12 kids and then rely on the government to feed them?"
Now, I just watched a video from another creator who stated that she just received a letter that her food stamps were about to be terminated and she was no longer qualified because she makes too much money. She goes on to say that she is a mom to 12 and that between her and her husband, they bring in about $60,000 a year. Now, my question is, how many kids in did you realize that you and your husband were unable to feed them and you needed to solely rely on the government? Because I know damn well it wasn't 12. I know it was probably way before then, especially with a $60,000 salary. It's no way. Y'all be making these stupid decisions and then come to bring it to the internet because you're looking for sympathy or some help or whatever it is that you're looking for when you come on this internet and tell y'all business. But it never sounded like a good decision in the first place. $60,000 is barely enough to even cover a single person, let alone a family of 14. You don't even have enough time in a day to properly care for 12 kids.
Ain't no
So
way.
I don't even know how did y'all even get all the way to 12. But for some reason, y'all love to keep just having kids without a real plan. It makes no sense at all. Do better
This is why a lot of times these kids be growing up hating their parents, because y'all never really have a plan for them or are ever properly able to take care of them. Because that's hard to believe that you are actually properly taking care of that many kids with that little
Right.
bit of fucking salary. It's no way. Do better. Keep your legs closed. And there is a thing called birth control. Start using it.
See, we can actually think about this logistically. 12 kids, one parent, one mom. 12 kids and a mom. And we don't know if there's a man as well. So think about this. Do you think that's 13 people for a household? You think she even has a 6-bedroom house on 60K a year? Heck no. So one of the rooms is going to be taken up by her. I'll give her some slack, and I'll say she has a 4-bedroom house. Even though that might be a stretch, it's probably a 3. But I'll give her some slack just because it's just so insane and say she has a 4-bedroom house with, let's say, 4 bathrooms, which I doubt. And then she probably gets her own bathroom, right? So now you have 12 kids who have to share 3 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms. So you have 4 to a room, 4 to a bathroom. See, you don't feel it because you get your own little space. And you're going to make sure that that's known and that's established. But you got these kids living on top of each other, as well as there's no way that you can effectively raise them and give them the attention they need. And I would argue that would be difficult even with a father. The amount of kids you're having is reserved for royalty, who could actually pay staff to be there and also help them in the rearing of the children. What in your right mind allowed you to do that? And why does the system incentivize you to do that? Is the question. That's the question. And you've created a situation and a circumstance to where no reasonable person in their right mind can say that this is possible for her to be able to handle this on her own. So now we basically have to take care of you and those kids for the rest of your life because you've basically forced our hand. But the question is why? And I don't know why we don't explore these things. Because last time I checked, there's nothing stopping her from having a 13th, a 14th. So we need to start understanding why. And we need to start getting commitments that you're not going to make this any worse. And had we had got that after 3, then I think she'd be a lot more well off. And she'd actually be on a path to be able to facilitate being able to take responsibility for a situation. But now it's just out of control. And ain't no way. It's not. I can say that it is not possible at this juncture. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And because I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why we get more points. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. And by the way, if you go to a video and you try to hype and it's been over 7 days, then you probably will no longer see the hype button. Hype usually goes away after 7 days. So it's usually best practice to hype while the iron is hot. Until then, y'all, I'll see you in the next video.